Hello, and welcome back to the Dojo podcast. We're here with a special episode. We're going to call this Cabin Cast because we're out in the mountains. We're having a good time, enjoying time with the buds. Again, I'm Thomas.
I'm Logan.
I'm Kyle.
And this week, we have a special guest, John Luke. John Luke's been a long-time friend of ours, and how about you you take the wheels?
It's all right. I'm going to take the wheels.
Take the wheels.
Yeah, so I've known Logan since long time, big time, and
Oh no!
I've known.
I'll deal with the dog.
I've known Thomas and Kyle. Well, Kyle too. I've known Kyle for a while. Thomas I've known since high school.
Mm-hmm.
We became good buds, and the rest is history. Let's see, what do I do?
So you don't go to school with us. You go to school. Where do you go to school?
Oh yes, that's an excellent question, Kyle. I go to University of Oregon. Almost done with my degree in music. Just doing the thing.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some of your other interests? What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh man,
That is such a
Broad,
broad question.
you know?
Like, let's just say on any given weekend, Saturday, when you don't have any other obligations, what can we find you doing?
well,
Again, very broad. But...
I love nature, as these guys know, as most people do. I like going on hikes. Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Spending time with the buds,
Spending
and
time with the
I know
buds.
that you do some like musical performances. I've seen you.
I do.
I've seen you do some house shows. That's pretty. That's some of that's been pretty awesome. I enjoy those.
I would say most of the time, I spend most of my time either making music or feeling like I should be making music.
Making music.
I've been trying to get better about that and just kind of allow myself time to relax and just, try to take some pictures, walk around Eugene. I like walking around the alleys in Eugene because it kind of presents like a different view of the city. Just like, you're always discovering something new.
Right on,
Okay. Well, Logan's dealing with Baloo. Let's jump into our first segment, Ray's food item of the week. So this is a little different because we're not in our home base. So if anything sounds different, if you're watching on YouTube, settings obviously going to be different. But this week we're going to go with a Ray's food item, which is the
local jaunts,
local
flavor.
haunt, local flavor. Let's kick it off with Kyle. What do you got
I'll
for
start
us?
it off. All right. So we got the peach rings right here. $2.99 for 12 ounces of high fructose corn syrup, but delicious stuff. Let's hop into these bad boys. Everyone
doing
take
a little
peach ring.
taster.
Everyone take
All
a
right.
All right, if you just
grab
brush
one.
your teeth, you can opt out.
abstain.
No, you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
hop in here. All right, let's do it.
I'll lose in the car in case anyone at home was concerned about the dog.
All right.
All right, are we?
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like peach.
These are peach rings.
Like mint.
That nice,
What
that
is-
nice artificial peach flavor. Nice. If you eat too many of these bad boys, though, your mouth will definitely get.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
that's,
feeling it.
I'm already sick of them, but that's all right. Pretty good.
It tastes like I already brushed my teeth. I don't know why. What that's
At
about.
first, I was like, "Oh, this is good." It totally overwhelmed the toothpaste, and then I was like, "No, the
So-
toothpaste strikes back."
So, what are your guys' views on like these artificial? I doubt they use like real peach extract for these
We'll see,
things.
man.
Don't really have any views on it, I guess.
Like, do you think they captured an accurate
I see
portrayal
no
of the
mention of the word peach.
like real fruit, like real peach juice or anything? So, what do you guys think about like how did they capture the peach essence in this snack?
I don't know. They put a bunch of chemicals together and were like, "This tastes like peach."
Like I think
There's beef gelatin in here, so
It says on the back, peach rings product of Turkey, and I mean, imagine that it's the country.
they were packed in the USA.
I don't think there's turkey in there, but there is beef, so
Yeah, so
you never know. It kind of all bets are off.
Yeah, 2 grams of protein though. So
Oh, there you go.
That's not
I think
bad.
that's from the
the beef gelatin
that's the
right
beef
there.
You
gelatin.
can skip the way.
Okay,
Snack
so
on these bad boys.
my item of the week, not Ray specific.
Oh, shit, go grab it.
I'll go with the Ray specific item. I'm gonna
Here's food that I like.
Here's food that I like. Let's go with
Oh, there you go.
the Ray's fried chicken, procured by Vincent. I had some smells and I had a little nibble. It was,
It could suck, but we don't know because we haven't tried it.
and I mean, it smells pretty good. And if Vincent says it's good, it's good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's fried chicken.
Oh,
That is fried chicken.
I'm a big enthusiast of Popeyes actually, and I'm sure the look and the appeal was pretty close to it, and I think it's fried chicken is one of those things that's like pretty easy to do, but it's pretty easy to mess up at the same time. So I think Ray's knocked it out of the ballpark with this one.
Even though you haven't tried.
Even though I haven't tried it.
Just knocked it out of the ballpark. 10
Knocked
out of
it out-
10 fried
10
chicken.
out of 10 fried
I'd love
chicken.
to try it someday.
10 out of 10 on the packaging.
Yes. All right, Thomas. I don't know if I missed it taking the dog to the car, but you're the host this week. What do you
So
have?
let's get into my special segment. So kind of like going around, we've been talking about like the biggest flexes that people have, like vacation homes. If like, let's say you have an Equinox gym membership, let's say you flash that, or like Costco membership. My activity this week is based around a concept of, let's say if tomorrow you inherited $1 billion just from some random, like, let's say you wake up, you see $1 billion in your bank account. There's no questions asked. You call the bank and they're like, oh, we don't know, it's yours.
Interest.
Let's just say this is just some made up scenario, but let's say in this scenario, and what this pretty much revolves around, what are your next steps? Like, what are you going to do after you just inherit this large sum of money? You never have to work again. And I mean, this kind of, since we're all graduating soon and, you know, the prospect of jobs and things like that, this is kind of like takes that financial worry away. The worry.
I would probably
Let's get into it. So
I would.
what do you
delete Facebook, hire a lawyer, hit the gym. No, but I would probably, the first thing I would do would to be like get a financial lawyer. But that's boring as fuck.
Yeah, let's say you handle all that already. Like, what are your next steps? Are you trying to like go on vacation? Like, are you trying to?
I'd buy a solid house in Portland, not like fuck you big, just comfortable, you know. And then from there, I would probably just spend the rest of my days just like funding business ventures that will all end up in failure, but it doesn't fucking matter because I have so much money. I can just do whatever I want.
So yeah, I like the idea of that. I think something I would, obviously, once everything financially is taken care of, I would want to plan some travel trips, you know, discover myself, man, you know, get a nice big van, drive across the US, Canada.
You have $1 billion and you're going to take a van across the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, think about this. You have so much time, you can do whatever you want. And I mean, if you go buy all like the consoles and like play video games for like 100 hours, like you play for a month, I mean, you buy like the best
a lot,
TV.
But I probably wouldn't do it by van. I would probably charter private flights.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I would want to travel around the U.S. in a van and like, you know, see all these like landmarks because that's kind of what I like to vibe with. I mean, some people, they might take a cruise because that like gives you a lot of options of different places to go, different things to see. I think it's just all preference, you know. I just like to, you know, drive around, kind of see what's out there because I've never been to the East Coast and I think that's somewhere I'd like to go, like do a big loop, you know. But that would be really cool. I'd obviously want to give back to my parents too, like, you know, maybe just spoil them a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Mom and Dad, you've had enough. It's my turn now. What about you guys? Any thoughts or what you guys would want to do?
Hop in here. All right, so I'd probably start with like family and friends, make sure everybody's taken care of and gets what I feel that they deserve.
Are you putting them? Are you putting them on a payroll, like, or?
I don't
So
know,
you can
man.
like kind of an
I get it.
allowance.
I don't know.
It's like you're like an NFL
You have,
player
like-
that goes broke, but you have $1 billion. So it's
Yeah.
like
It's tough. This would require its own separate thought, divvying it up in terms of family and friends. And then for myself, I'd probably make sure I buy a couple of properties across the world and make sure everything is carbon neutral. So everything that I buy, like solar panels, water filtration, and like reusing, all that kind of stuff. So I don't have to worry about utilities or anything for the rest of my life. It's all self-contained. And then from there, I don't know, probably moving into like vacation, budget, some stuff aside. But I feel like if you have $1 billion,
If you have $1 billion,
to like give $800 million for like philanthropic
Philanthropic.
Philanthropic. I tried. I knew it was a big word. I was like,
Kara, get on this,
I was
man.
trying to sound it out in my
No,
head,
no.
but it just didn't come together. So
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things you can do in the way of investments and stuff. I think I could do like that's just like so much money. I would just set aside a portion and kind of just like it's like play money, kind of get into like this. I'd get into some mediocre
Monopoly.
markets. I'd be like, you know what, this artificially grown meat seems kind of interesting. Maybe I'll just shell some money into that. Have a
Well,
little.
you could do that now. They just
I
went
could.
public, so
That is
that's
true. But
Shout out Beyond Meat.
what about you, John? Like, what are your ideas on
yeah,
this?
music.
If
Man,
you
would
came
do
into
any music,
I
money?
would
go buy your own
Start
big
your own
studio
label.
in Wyoming.
in Wyoming.
In
That's
the
where I'm.
cabin, get a cabin
Yeah.
with the mountains.
I've always been a big Hill House fan, so I'd probably like looking out. I really would like to buy just like a big plot of land, like some kind of maybe like farmland sort of thing, and maybe like build a house. Like I'd like to build a house, and the hill, very important. I would need to have a giant hill on top of there, and maybe like
Grow some food.
grow some food. Yes. Like, oh yeah.
So is this gonna be like a big like, fuck you neighbor's house? Like you just
No.
have like you have like 50 acres of land, and this house is just like ridiculous. You just have like a 1-story cottage with a.
I'm thinking
studio.
something pretty modest. Something maybe, and also like it would be nice to get some friends involved and just kind of plot them out. Just if anybody wanted to join me in this.
You're living your best rich life on a farm, and you're like, oh, and Logan's out in his little shed.
He's
I
in
feel
his
like
3
he's in
acres
his-
away.
He's
This
in
is-
his private jet.
Yeah, this is a fantasy that is very contingent on what other people are willing to. Is like, hey, now that I have a lot of money,
Like
everybody should come
You want to
live
come
on my
live
thing.
on my farm? It's like, all right.
No, I'd
Yeah.
have some. I'd get some animules for sure. Like that'd be nice.
really cool.
I would like. I can imagine myself living very modestly, but just like securing the plot of land and just kind of roaming around. I definitely the music thing would probably come first. Like there's a lot of equipment that is always on my list that I'm just looking online. It's like, oh, that looks
You could
nice.
buy that instrument that's like makes like alien music from the '60s. What's the like?
Oh, the theremin. I could buy a
Yeah.
theremin.
Yeah.
I would like to just basically fill up just a room or even like a little cottage with like some
Theremins.
with theremin. Yeah, so only
A
theremins.
full body theremin. You get
full-
there
oh
and
my
you
goodness.
dance. and,
There,
like,
you know,
make music with
people
the
are
body.
working on that kind of stuff. You know,
Really?
Imogen Heap. She's
Ooh,
doing
yeah,
some- yeah.
very cool.
She's kind of on the cutting edge. Of
Yeah,
that
I
sort of
love
stuff.
those projects of like like the stuff with like these visuals and like
Uh-huh.
I know they put stuff to like aquariums. I really like those too. I'd have just like a big like fuck everybody aquarium with, these, with a bunch of exotic fish.
You're like, I'm
then
rich. Fuck everybody.
fuck everybody.
In every
I'm
way.
gonna make music with fish.
Oh, you could put the theremin underwater, and then when the fish swim around, it's like.
I would definitely want to. I mean, honestly, first on the list, or not yet. First on the list after the other first on the list thing that I just mentioned is travel as well. You know, people.
What's
have
your mode
mentioned
of
some
travel here? Are you going private jet? Are you flying economy?
I think like the thing with money, like just a large sum of money that you're like, oh my god, it's so much. If it's not constantly being replenished, it can go away very,
Very fast.
Yeah.
That's what happens with these
Um,
like athletes and people
yeah.
who win the lottery.
Well, yeah,
things
and like
that.
people are, it's the lifestyle inflation thing. So I would try to make sure that like my lifestyle did not like totally just
That's
like
the thing,
scale
is
to
I would-
like just like, ooh, I have so
Yeah.
much money now. I'm gonna I'm
Right, it's like you do a decent splurge at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of live with that. You don't need to be constantly buying new, absurdly fuck you level things. You know,
Fuck you, aquarium.
just like get a couple
Yeah.
little things and just kind of chill, live your best life,
yeah.
farm or something.
So now that you mentioned your first before your actual like I want to settle down thing, I think the first thing I'd actually want to do is round up my buddies and be like, call out of work. I know you just started a week ago, but I got something planned for us. I'd do something like I'd either rent out Disneyland for all of us. Just absurd, because I think it's like
That might be a lot more money than you think.
no, they do it for like high schools that do their grad parties there, and I think
They do.
It's
I
under
have a-
like it's
High
under
school can
100.
afford to rent out
I
Disneyland?
wouldn't rent it for like a week or something, but I would like rent it for a night or like half a day and just like take some of my buddies, everybody that's been good to me. So
Not very many people.
not very many people. I would take everybody that's been good to me, and we just have like it would be Westworld rules. We would just do whatever the fuck we want in Disneyland. I'd be like, Disneyland, get out of here. We're doing whatever we want.
Westworld rules.
Westworld rules and Disneyland in Disneyland.
Have the wildest fucking Vegas weekend ever.
We would go
We
to
have
Disney.
what you could do in Vegas with $1 billion, you could buy like 5 tequila shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I would go ridiculous for like a little bit, and then be a little bit more modest, and then I'd go back and reinvest.
We're
And then-
fixing the camera.
Just
We're
make-
checking.
making
Just
sure
check.
it's still going.
A quick check
Uh-huh.
Republic on the camera here.
So closing out that, I would have a good time and then reinvest. Kind of try to get a little bit more money, or just stay safe.
I would buy my dad's company from my dad and then remove him as CEO, and then close the company down.
Oh my god!
So if you're watching this, Dad, watch your back.
I would get into the pom pom business,
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Here you go.
the moss business. That's
I can't
that was
see the
mine.
topics from here, so I like don't
Oh.
know how to transition into anything. You know. That's
okay. So today is Sunday, May 19th, and
how do you guys feel about today?
It's today.
today's
Tomorrow
a
it
big-
will be today too.
Today, tomorrow, and today is actually the Game of Thrones finale. I know, longly anticipated. I started watching it, like we mentioned before. Kyle and I started getting into it this season a little bit, watching with Vincent and
3 weeks ago.
Vincent and Logan. And
Had you not
You know.
watched the rest of the show?
No.
So you just kind of.
so we're
just
kind of
seen
just
the
we're
last
rolling
four
with the punches.
Okay.
So I just want to know what you guys, as longtime fans, think about like ideas, speculation. What you guys' feelings about?
I kind of want to get just a quick guest appearance. Brian, if you could come here and give us your thoughts on the final
Yes.
season in 5 words or less. Just 5 words.
That's a little
Yeah,
bit of
while he
putting
collects his thoughts.
really putting him on the spot here.
Yeah, I'll give you a minute to think about those 5 words, but make it good. So,
No
final
pressure.
episode tonight. I'm a little disappointed at this point. We recorded an episode on Wednesday, so nothing has happened since we last recorded. But yeah, Brian, you ready to come bring your five words? Let's get them on. Drum roll.
I'll just say that I'm excited for
Brian's 5 words.
Brian's 5 words, and I'm excited to see
Brian.
see what happens. I'm just
just
gonna roll with
right here.
what's
Just
happening.
Get in.
All right, 5 words.
Visually stunning, but disappointing.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. Very good.
You got an extra word.
Yeah,
too.
what's your last
What do you want
word?
to use the last word? Just throw anything out. Boobs. Cars.
Thrown.
Aerodactyl.
Predictable.
Predictable.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Thank you, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Brian.
Yeah, they spent their whole the whole thing, Game of Thrones, it's like, we're gonna subvert your expectations, but then they like do it in like the dumbest, most predictable ways. It's like, oh, it's not even really subversion at this point.
What about you, John Luke? What are your thoughts about the season coming to end? What is your feelings?
I think I mean, of course, my critique is similar to many's critique, which is just like it's become so rushed at the end, which makes sense because they kind of like, I mean, to try to wrap up like a story that has so much like groundwork laid at the beginning of just like, hey, look, there are all these characters that have all of their lives and like their backstory and everything, and to try to like keep that going in like a TV show format, like I think it definitely like flipped over to the side of like being more like sensational, which makes sense because the showrunners are, I mean, like they're like TV people, Like,
Yeah.
well,
they just want to wrap it up so they can go start their new Star Wars trilogy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Do you think the show could have benefited from maybe stringing it on a little bit longer, kind of putting a little bit more, stringing it along a little bit more? Because I know when I was talking to Logan, trying to get a little bit more. A more clear idea of the show, he was like, yeah, pretty much what you missed is like they would take their time with it, they would do a lot of character development. So I mean, they're at this point now, but like now what is happening is what you said, they're just like kind of in a rush to close out. But
yeah, well, and it's as much as they don't want to make it, and like, you know, the whole thing is like based on not presenting this really black and white view of like kind of moral, like good and evil, and like kind of, you know, really really humanizing like every side of things. Like, you know, even if people are being absolutely awful to each other on the show, it's like you understand, you know, kind of the way that their like family lineage has shaped them and everything. But at this point, it seems like at the beginning of the last season, they just kind of like, you know, I mean, there was so much stuff with like the map, and it's like, wait, how did they get from here to there?
It'd be like, all right, guys, I'm headed to the wall, and that's what they would do for like 6 episodes. But now it's like, hey, I'm gonna head 3,000 miles away, and the next scene is he's there, which I don't have like a huge problem with. It's just so jarring compared to
it seems like they kind of just like they had all the characters on a table as like little figurines, and there's like, okay, we're gonna put this over here on the good side, and we're gonna put this one over here on the bad side. And so like it seems like the like moral view of, I mean, like it's gotten a little the moral simple. Ambiguity is
there's a little more gray. It's like, oh, this person's bad, but like, you know, they're not like evil, but now it's just like you're either really good or you're not.
I did think they did a really good job in the last episode of just like, I mean, I like the point of view of like the city, and just kind of like, you know, when there's all this like death and destruction going on, rather than focusing on like the, you know, kind of this like overhead view of like, we are conquering
just
King's
Daenerys
Landing.
sitting on the
dragon, like it's just like you see just like how horrifying it is, and like you see the way that like just everything kind of flips to the other side, and like you see, you know, the soldiers of King's Landing, like
I could tell like pretty early on when they like kept focusing on the Lannister soldiers and the Golden Company soldiers, like all like burning. It was like all right, I get it. They're trying to humanize the villains and turn this around here soon. So when Dany turned heel, I was like, that's not that shock. I mean, they've been setting it up for a long time, so anyone who's truly shocked has not really been paying attention. But even within the episode, it was like, okay, they're clearly trying to make the North and Daenerys' army into the bad guys. Like the scenes where like the Northmen tried to like rape someone, or like when the Dothraki just were running through killing civilians. It's like, all right, it was a little much. We get it. They're not the best good guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of good guys, I just have a public service announcement this weekend. So a public service announcement. So we were talking about this yesterday, and we were talking about the prospect of showing somebody photos on your phone, and then if you're the viewer, to not swipe unless the controller
the swipe
swipes.
Privileges.
This kind of transitions to a story that I told them yesterday. Now that I told it to them yesterday, it would kind of come out
Let's
easy.
hear it again. Go ahead.
Yeah. The way I told it yesterday, it was pretty messy, but I think I got it this time. So I'm at a dealership buying a part for my car. The part doesn't matter, but I have pictures of the part because it's like broken, and then I'm showing it to the guy, and he's like, oh, can I see that? So because he's across the counter, he takes my phone, and then he starts swiping. I'm in my camera roll, which was the mistake. I should have made some kind of folder or something so then he couldn't have accidentally. But like that's the thing. I should have held it in my hand and swiped for him. He's swiping through, and then he swipes one too many. He sees a picture of me on the toilet with my pants down. No dong, so don't worry. This was not NSFW by any means. I mean, my pants were down. It was a little bit. It was half NSFW. And the only reason I took this the only reason I took this picture was because my dog decided to be pretty cute and sit in my pants while I was taking a dump.
Oh, so cute.
So cute. He was just the most precious thing.
Oh God.
But he swipes to this picture. He's like kind of, I think he was in shock or something because he looks at it for like a good 4 seconds. He's like, well, this is not the car part. I don't think we sell this. And he's just like, oh, cute dog. Swipes back. And I'm like, well, and the outcome of the story, I didn't end up buying a car part there. I went to Napa. Shout out to Napa.
Napa, no how.
I went to Napa and I bought it for way cheaper. So, and the guy at Napa, I mean, I learned my lesson. I swiped for him. So that's the moral of the story.
The guy at Napa didn't like dogs, so he didn't care.
You leave a Yelp review and it's like they swipe through your phone. Do not come here.
They swipe one too many swipes. That's not good common courtesy when showing photos.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like you're trying to show someone a meme or something else, and you're just holding it to them. It's a one line of text with a photo, and they want to like take
like
the
grab
phone
it
from you and
like,
look
what are you
at
gonna
it.
do
It's like,
on here?
This is going to take you 3 seconds to read.
You nosy ass bastards who keep taking the phones and swiping it. Stop, or I'll find you, and you're not invited to Disneyland.
You're not invited to my birthday party.
Nice callback. I like it.
How's that ice cream?
Good.
Was
Okay.
it as good as Tyler the Creator's album?
I would
Yes.
say so.
Probably better. It's the best ice cream.
Yeah, Tyler the Creator released an album on Friday, so 2 days ago now, called Igor. I think all of us have had like a rough listen to it so far. It's pretty experimental. Definitely not Flower Boy 2.0, but I think we were talking about, what is the song? Boy with a gun. A boy,
Is a gun.
A boy is a gun. That's the slap off the album.
Yeah, it sampled the same song from Bound 2. Fun fact.
Very cool. 12 songs, 39 minutes. One of those shorter albums, and it's kind of like it's more of like showcasing his production skills, and I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good short listen. I enjoyed
My favorite song was the one that was 15 seconds long. It just really blew my mind.
Exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. So deep.
Wow. Injury Reserve also put out a new album. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, but the hip hop collective from Arizona. So check that out if you have.
And on that note, we'll close with that. Thank you for listening to Cabin Cast.
Shorter Cabin Cast.
Little shorter
we had
Cabin
a
Cast.
40-minute one last week. So.
And we just want to say thank you to our special guest, John Luke. Hopefully we'll be able to have him on in the future. Invite him back, and then
yeah.
Vote now on
Absolutely.
your phones.
vote now on your phone for your favorite
Vote
guest
now. Do you
this
want
far.
John Luke back?
No!
Kara,
No.
Vincent, or would you rather have a special feature episode with Baloo?
Oh.
You do not want that.
Just-
He would lick the microphone and then whine.
Woof woof,
Dog,
wham wham.
dog
I
ASMR
want,
for the whole time.
woof woof, wham wham. I want my mommy.
All right. Thanks for watching.